Hello everybody, my name is Broseidon and I'm here to teach you how to set up a proper tat grid on a public moon and also how to take your tat grid from your private moon and once a month or once every 2 months put it into the public folder temporarily. So right here we have our good old trusty public moon. It's got a little bit of asteroids, not the best, but hey, it's public, right? So first we're gonna do is we're gonna put our point, or we're gonna put our little tat grid burning ship. You want to use a fast ship because it's gonna take you a pretty decent amount of time to set up a tat grid if you have a slow ass ship. So I got this trusty Condor. I kind of fitted out myself without being too min-maxy about it. I got some small warp bubbles in my cargo bay just in case I want to put some bubbles down on some gate entry points on an anom or something to buy myself a little bit more time to get out or refit. So first thing we want to do is we want to put up our center point on our moon. We are at currently the Brave Moon for Sale number 306. So we'll go Brave Moon for Sale number 306 center. We're gonna put that. I'm gonna put that in my personal folder so I can teach you guys how to put it into the public folder later. So we're gonna set that for 2 days expiry. All right, now that we've got our center point here, we're going to set up our tat grid. So tat grids are mainly used to allow the FC to warp into perches and kind of scout the battlefield, see what's going on, but most importantly so that the FC doesn't warp an entire Ferox fleet into a bubble because they're all going to die. So the best way to do that is you could either double click into space and hope that you get somewhere that you need to be, or if you hold down Q, you'll see this little blue circle come out. So if we wanted to go up, let's say we wanted to go up 160 meters. So we'll hold Q, we'll go out 160 meters, we'll click once, and then we'll drag it all the way up. And then once it seems about up right there, you just left click one more time, turn on your old micro warp drive real quick, start heading up there. So yeah, tat grid is very important for Rorqual mining because it allows your FC to better position his fleet to be able to save you. I mean, if you don't have a attack grid set up and an FC warps a Ferox fleet at 0, he's probably going to die, and in turn, you're going to stay tackled, and you're going to die as well. So attack grids are very important. Also, having a Sino alt or having at least one Sino on grid with you is now a mandatory requirement. And as you can see, I have my little Cloaky Sino alt right here, just in case something bad happens. So as we're reaching the first point right here, we're going to go Brave Moon for Sale, number 306. And we're going to go up, and then we're going to set our distance, which is 165 kilometers. And then we're going to type up again. Most people don't like to type up twice, but I find that when you're looking at a giant line of tacks, trying to figure out which one is going where, you have an easier chance of recognizing which direction each tack is if you can just look out of your peripheral vision, and see that this one says up, and two ups, you have more of a chance to see the word up twice. A lot of WoW Arena players put the same abilities next to each other so they can more easily see the cooldowns and stuff, but that's a different game. So we're going to put that on 2 days expiry. Got the moon, the number, the distance, and the direction. Save that. And we're going to want to make another 165. Nothing here has to be perfect. You just eyeball most things as long as it's generally correct. So another important fact about a tack grid is you always want to be able to warp in between two tacks. If you have a tack, I mean, you can have a tack from here to maybe like 50, 100, 150, blah blah blah. You can go as detailed into it as you want. More detailed the better. But this is just the bare minimum for being able to save you and save yourself some time, get you into mining quicker. So we're gonna burn up here. We're gonna preset our bookmark. Brave Moon for Sale, number 306, up 320 kilometers. up. And I'll get right back to you when I have every direction set. Thanks. What's going on, everybody? We're back, and guess what I built? A tat grid. Woo! So we got every cardinal direction. We got our up and down. If you wanted to get super fancy, like some Rorqual miners, such as Stack, you could do your subcardinal directions as well, and your subcardinal vertical x-y axis directions too. And yeah, it's a good old tat grid. So since my tat grid is finished, oops, I'm not done. So let's double check our bookmarks, make sure the directions and the distances are correct. Oh wow, that's so weird. This is supposed to be a 160, but it's a 320. Well, you can easily edit that real quick by hitting right click, edit location. Don't accidentally delete your entire thing. And type in the right distance. I have every single one of my tacks is warpable to the next. Let's test it out. I like to go a little bit farther than 150, which is the minimum warp distance, because if an FC fleet warps and some people get caught a little bit too close, like if they get caught at 145 over here or something, and the FC wants to warp here, well, everyone else behind here is warping, but everybody else here is is slow boating. So I like to give a little bit more wiggle room for big blobs. Also, make sure that you have a safe. Not every moon has a mining beacon that's so well placed, so you have to make sure to make that safe yourself. And for you Rourke pilots out there, or you Porpoise pilots out there that use boosts, if you're kind of AFK and see somebody come in on grid a little bit late and they get the jump on you, but you're still able to warp off, if you not only have a safe here, but if you have a safe at one of the farther locations, like if you have an undocked safe right here at this Sotoyo, it's 16 AUs away, the time it takes for you to warp across the system will buy you time to let your weapons timer run out so that you're able to dock and tether. Because if you're not aware, if you have a weapons timer active, you're unable to dock, tether, or refit your fit if you're in a Rourke per se next to a wet 2. So you always have to have that far safe to make sure that your weapons timer can run out. Because if you warp from this rock to here and you still have 40 seconds on your weapons timer, that dude's just gonna warp right to you and tackle you. So now that I have this fancy little tat grid set up, how do I get it into the public folder to allow everybody to see it? Well, let's go to personal, people and places. And right here, you'll see these are all my personal locations that I just made. So we're gonna do that. And once we have those selected by left click, shift, left click the bottom, we're gonna bring them down to the structure tags right here. 48-hour expiry. My tags are set to 48-hour expiry already. Just gonna drag those in here. And then if you wanted to, if this was a private moon, for example, and you didn't want just all the public to see it and have it expire in 2 days, you just drag it right back to your little folder. Boop, and there you go. And they stay here. So now that your structure tags are in the Brave Temp folder, it will take 2 minutes for them to populate and allow people to see them. Just kidding, they're done already. Wow, that's really crazy how that happened. So now that my Sino is here, going to warp to one of these pings. Always keep your Sino on grid. Always, always, always. Now, once I warp to this ping up here, I'm not going to stay on this ping because if a friendly person warped to this ping to be able to warp back down to any of these rocks and start mining a different rock, they would uncloak me. So I'm just going to double click into space and yeah, we're good. If you ever get tackled, you'll come back to your Falcon being somewhere out in the middle of space, warp to whichever tack you feel is appropriate to get ready to light your Sino on FC's orders, and light that sucker. You never want to warp to your Rorqual at 0 when you're lighting a Cyno, because you might bounce off, and it could mess up with your Cyno placement. So, this is Broseidon. This was my video on how to set up a tack grid and how to take your private bookmarks and put them in the public folder. Make sure you have your bookmarks set to 48-hour expiry because you don't want to clog the bookmarks folder with anoms that have long since been abandoned. And yeah, thanks for coming to visit my little tack tutorial. And I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy. Fly safe. Fly smart.